There comes a moment in life when you realize that waiting has cost you more than failure ever could. Many people spend their days hoping for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling. They wait for motivation to arrive like a visitor, knocking at their door. But the truth is that nothing arrives unless it is invited through action. If you want to become unstoppable in 2026, you must stop negotiating with the weaker part of yourself. Every day you wake up, there are two versions of you standing at a crossroads. One seeks comfort, distraction, and excuses. The other seeks growth, discipline, and truth. The direction you choose repeatedly becomes the person you become permanently. To become unstoppable, you must first understand that your greatest enemy is not outside of you. It is not other people's circumstances or bad luck. Your greatest enemy is your own uncontrolled mind. A distracted mind weakens your actions. A doubtful mind destroys your courage. A lazy mind delays your future. If you cannot command your thoughts, then your thoughts will command you. And if your thoughts command you, then you will always remain a servant to fear, hesitation, and limitation. True strength begins when you learn to observe your thoughts without obeying all of them. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your reaction. Sometimes the strongest action is stillness, and sometimes the greatest victory is self-control. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Many people misunderstand discipline. They think it is punishment or restriction, but discipline is actually freedom. When you are disciplined, you are no longer controlled by moods or impulses. You act according to purpose, not comfort. Imagine waking up every day with a clear direction. Imagine knowing exactly what must be done and simply doing it without inner conflict. This is power. Small daily disciplines may seem insignificant, but over time they shape an unstoppable character. Waking up on time, training your body, focusing your mind, and keeping your promises to yourself. These are not small things. They are the foundation of transformation. Your body must become strong because a weak body cannot support a strong mind. Movement creates energy, and energy creates momentum. When you train your body, you are not only building muscles, you are building resilience. Each repetition teaches you endurance. Each drop of sweat teaches you persistence. Each moment of discomfort teaches you that you are capable of more than you thought. Strength is not only physical, it is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you did not quit when it was difficult. An unstoppable person does not avoid difficulty. They walk directly into it with steady breath and focused eyes. Your mind must also be trained because an undisciplined mind is like a wild horse running in every direction. Focus is a rare power in a distracted world. Everywhere you look, something is trying to steal your attention. But attention is life itself. Whatever you give your attention to grows stronger. If you give your attention to negativity, negativity grows. If you give your attention to excuses, excuses grow. If you give your attention to progress, progress grows. Guard your attention carefully. Learn to sit in silence. Learn to breathe slowly. Learn to bring your wandering thoughts back to the present moment. The present moment is where your power lives. The past cannot be changed, and the future cannot be controlled, but the present can be mastered. Failure will come, and when it does, you must welcome it as a teacher, rather than fear it as an enemy. Every failure carries a lesson, but only those who remain humble can see it. If you become discouraged by failure, you stop moving. If you learn from failure, you keep evolving. An unstoppable person is not someone who never falls. It is someone who rises every time they fall. Each time you stand up again, you become harder to defeat. Each time you continue forwards, you build momentum that cannot easily be stopped. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. If you surround yourself with negativity, your mind becomes heavy. If you surround yourself with distraction, your focus becomes weak. If you surround yourself with people who avoid responsibility, you will begin to avoid it too. Choose your environment carefully. Choose friends who challenge you to grow. Choose habits that strengthen you. Choose routines that move you forward. An unstoppable life is not created by accident. It is built intentionally, one decision at a time. Comfort is one of the greatest obstacles to growth. When life becomes comfortable, progress often stops. The body relaxes, the mind wanders, and ambition fades. But growth lies outside of comfort. Every time you choose the harder path, you expand your limits. Every time you face resistance, you increase your capacity. Discomfort is not something to avoid, it is something to use. Within discomfort lies the doorway to a stronger version of yourself. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Many people feel motivated for a short time, but motivation fades quickly. What remains is habit. If you rely only on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. But if you build habits, your progress becomes automatic. Small actions repeated daily create massive change over time. Even on the days when you feel tired, even on the days when you feel unmotivated, continue forward. Move slowly if you must, but never stop. The person who keeps going will always surpass the person who keeps stopping. Belief in yourself is not something you wait for. It is something you build. Confidence comes from evidence. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Each time you complete what you started, your belief strengthens. Each time you overcome resistance, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Over time, these small victories create an unshakable inner foundation. When you trust yourself, hesitation disappears. When hesitation disappears, action becomes natural. Time is your most valuable resource. Every day that passes is a day that cannot be returned. If you waste time, you waste life. This does not mean you must always be busy, but you must always be intentional. Rest with purpose, work with purpose, train with purpose, live with purpose. An unstoppable person understands the value of time and treats each day as an opportunity to move forward. There will always be obstacles. There will always be doubts. There will always be moments when the path feels difficult and the goal feels distant. In those moments, remember that strength is built through challenge. The fire that forges steel is the same fire that tests you. Do not wish for an easier path. Build a stronger mind. Do not wish for fewer problems. Build greater resilience. Within you is a strength that has not yet been fully discovered. Within you is a potential that is waiting to be awakened. The journey to becoming unstoppable is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming fully yourself through discipline, awareness, and relentless forward movement. The first step toward becoming unstoppable is learning that your mind must become your ally, not your master. Most people live as servants to their thoughts without realizing it. A single negative thought can ruin an entire day, and a small doubt can stop a big dream before it even begins. When the mind is undisciplined, it jumps from one distraction to another, chasing comfort and avoiding effort. This is why so many people remain stuck. They wait until they feel ready, but readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision followed by action. If you want to become unstoppable, you must learn to observe your thoughts without immediately obeying them. A thought is only a suggestion, not a command. The moment you understand this, you begin to take back control. There will be mornings when your mind tells you to stay in bed. There will be moments when your mind tells you the task is too difficult. There will be times when your mind tells you that you are not capable enough, not strong enough, or not ready yet. These thoughts feel real because you hear them in your own voice, but they are often nothing more than habits built over time. If you listen to them without question, they shape your actions. If you challenge them through discipline, they begin to lose their power. Discipline is the ability to act according to purpose instead of emotion. It means doing what must be done even when you do not feel like doing it. This is where true strength begins. At first, discipline feels uncomfortable because it goes against the patterns you have repeated for years. The body wants ease, and the mind wants entertainment. But growth requires effort, and effort requires focus. Each time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your ability to stay in control. It is like training a muscle that becomes stronger with repetition. One disciplined action may not seem significant, but repeated disciplined actions shake your identity. Over time, you stop seeing discipline as something you force yourself to do and start seeing it as part of who you are. Many people believe that discipline requires motivation, but the opposite is true. Discipline creates motivation. When you take action, even small action, you create momentum. Momentum makes the next action easier. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the wind to push you forward. Discipline is learning to row even when the water is still. Some days you will feel energized and progress will come easily. Other days you will feel tired and every step will require effort. Both days are important. The days when you feel strong build your capacity, and the days when you feel weak build your character. Focus is an essential part of mastering your mind. In a world full of distractions, attention has become one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Every notification, every message, and every piece of entertainment competes for your awareness. When your attention is constantly pulled in different directions, your energy becomes scattered. Scattered energy produces weak results. But when you focus on one task at a time, your energy becomes concentrated. Concentrated energy produces powerful results. Learning to focus is not about forcing your mind to be still at all times. It is about gently bringing your attention back whenever it wanders. Each time you notice distraction and return to your task, you strengthen your focus. Your daily habits reflect the level of control you have over your mind. If your habits are weak, your results will be weak. If your habits are strong, your results will be strong. Habits are built through repetition, not intention. Many people intend to change, but few commit to repetition. On. The first time you practice a new habit, it feels unnatural. The second time, it feels slightly easier. After many repetitions, it becomes automatic. This is how discipline transforms into lifestyle. You no longer debate whether to take action because action becomes your default response. Self-control is another essential element of becoming unstoppable. There will always be temptations pulling you away from your goals. There will always be easier paths that promise immediate comfort. But immediate comfort often leads to long-term regret. Self-control means choosing what is right over what is easy. It means delaying pleasure for the sake of progress. Each time you practice self-control, you reinforce your inner strength. Each time you give in to impulse, you reinforce weakness. These small decisions accumulate over time and shape your future. Mastering your mind also requires awareness. You must become aware of the patterns that hold you back. Perhaps you procrastinate when tasks feel overwhelming. Perhaps you avoid challenges because you fear failure. Perhaps you doubt yourself because of past mistakes. Awareness allows you to see these patterns clearly. Once you see them, you can begin to change them. Without awareness, you repeat the same behaviors without understanding why. With awareness, you gain the ability to choose a different path. Silence can be a powerful tool for developing mental discipline. When you sit in silence, you begin to notice how active your mind really is. Thoughts appear one after another, often without purpose or direction. Instead of fighting these thoughts, simply observe them. Let them come and go without attachment. Over time, you will notice that thoughts lose their intensity when you stop reacting to them. This creates space between you and your impulses. In that space, you find the freedom to choose your actions consciously. See. Consistency is what transforms discipline into power. Anyone can act with discipline once or twice, but few can maintain it over long periods. Consistency requires patience because results are not always immediate. Sometimes progress is invisible at first. You may not see change right away, but change is happening beneath the surface. Just as a seed grows roots before it breaks through the soil. Your efforts build a foundation before results appear. If you start too soon, you never see the growth that was about to happen. Becoming unstoppable does not mean you never struggle. It means you continue moving forward. Despite struggle, some days your mind will be clear and focused. Other days it will feel restless and resistant. Both are part of the process. The goal is not perfection, but persistence. Each time you return to discipline, you strengthen your ability to stay on track. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes natural, and what once felt impossible becomes achievable. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort, yet discomfort is the very place where growth begins. The desire for comfort is natural, but when comfort becomes your main goal, progress slowly disappears. A comfortable life may feel safe in the moment, but it often leads to frustration over time, because deep inside you know you are capable of more. To become unstoppable, you must change the way you see discomfort. Instead of treating it like an enemy, you must begin to see it as a teacher. Every challenge you face carries within it the opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you stop running from difficulty and start facing it directly, you step onto the path of transformation. Discomfort appears in many forms. Sometimes it is physical, like the strain of training your body when you feel tired. Sometimes it is mental, like focusing on a task when distractions are calling for your attention. Sometimes it is emotional, like continuing forward even when doubt and fear are present. Each type of discomfort tests a different part of you, but all of them serve the same purpose. They stretch your limits and reveal your true strength. If you always stay within what feels easy, your limits remain small. But when you step beyond what feels comfortable, your limits begin to expand. Many people believe they need confidence before they can face challenges, but confidence is actually built through challenges. The first time you do something difficult, you feel uncertain. The second time, you feel slightly more capable. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes manageable. This is how growth works. It is a gradual process of pushing boundaries and adapting to new levels of difficulty. Each time you overcome a challenge, you collect evidence that you are capable. This evidence becomes the foundation of true confidence, a confidence that is not based on words or wishes, but on experience. Failure is one of the most powerful forms of discomfort because it forces you to confront your limitations. No one enjoys failing, but failure has a way of revealing truths that success often hides. When you fail, you see where you were unprepared, where you hesitated, and where you need to improve. These lessons are valuable, but only if you are willing to accept them. Many people let failure define them, believing that a single mistake means they are not good enough. This belief stops them from trying again. And in doing so, they guarantee that failure becomes permanent. But failure is only permanent when you stop moving forward. An unstoppable person understands that failure is not the opposite of success, but part of it. Every step forward carries the risk of falling, but without that risk, there is no progress. If you avoid failure completely, I'll also avoid growth completely. The path to improvement is built on repeated attempts, each one slightly better than the last. Sometimes progress is fast, and sometimes it is slow, but every attempt moves you closer to your goal. The important thing is not how quickly you succeed, but how consistently you continue. Fear often appears alongside discomfort. Fear whispers that you might fail, that you might be judged, or that you might be judged, or that you might not be good enough. These fears feel powerful because they are connected to your instinct for safety. But safety is not always the same as growth. A life built entirely around safety becomes small and restricted. To become unstoppable, you must learn to act even when fear is present. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Each time you face a fear, it loses some of its power. Each time you avoid a fear, it grows stronger. There is a certain strength that can only be developed through hardship. Easy situations do not require resilience, patience, or determination. These qualities are forged in difficulty. Just as metal becomes stronger through heat, your character becomes stronger through challenge. When you endure something difficult and come out the other side, you carry that strength with you. It becomes part of who you are, something that cannot be taken away easily. This is why people who have faced great challenges often possess a quiet confidence. They know what they have survived, and that knowledge gives them strength. Discomfort also teaches patience. In a world that values instant results, it is easy to become frustrated when progress takes time. But meaningful growth rarely happens overnight. It requires sustained effort and repeated practice. There will be times when you work hard and see little immediate reward. These moments test your commitment. If you continue despite the lack of visible progress, you develop patience. Patience allows you to stay focused on long-term goals instead of short-term satisfaction. Another lesson hidden within discomfort is humility. When you face challenges, you are reminded that there is always more to learn. No matter how skilled you become, there will always be new obstacles to overcome. This realization keeps you open to improvement. It prevents you from becoming complacent and encourages you to keep growing. Humility allows you to learn from mistakes instead of denying them. It allows you to accept guidance instead of resisting it. One of the most important things to remember about discomfort is that it is temporary. In the moment it may feel intense, but it does not last forever. The effort you invest today becomes the strength you carry tomorrow. The pain you endure today becomes the resilience you rely on later. When you remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, it becomes easier to endure. You begin to see it not as suffering without purpose, but as effort with meaning. Resilience is built by repeatedly returning after setbacks. It is easy to stay committed when everything is going well, but true resilience shows itself when things fall apart. There will be times when plans fail and expectations are not met. In those moments you have a choice. You can give up or you can begin again. Each time you begin again, you reinforce the habit of persistence. Over time, persistence becomes part of your identity. You no longer see obstacles as reasons to stop, but as challenges to overcome. When you embrace discomfort and learn from failure, you develop a mindset that cannot easily be defeated. You stop fearing difficulty because you understand its value. You stop avoiding failure because you see its lessons. This shift in perspective changes the way you approach life. Instead of shrinking away from challenges, you move toward them with curiosity and determination. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to grow, and each failure becomes a step forward in disguise. Consistency is the force that turns small actions into powerful results. Many people begin their journey with excitement and energy, but very few continue when that excitement fades. At the beginning, everything feels new and inspiring, and it is easy to take action when you feel motivated. But motivation is like a wave that rises and falls. If you depend on it, your progress will always be unstable. Some days you will move forward quickly, and other days you will stop completely. To become unstoppable, you must learn to rely not on motivation, but on commitment. Commitment means showing up whether you feel inspired or not. It means continuing the work, even when the results are not immediately visible. This steady effort is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Every small action you take is like placing a single drop of water into a container. One drop may seem meaningless, and even 100 drops may not look impressive, but over time, those drops fill the entire container. Progress works in the same way. Each day you practice, each day you focus, and each day you improve adds another drop. The change may be too small to notice at first, but it is happening. Many people quit because they cannot see immediate results. They believe their efforts are useless because the progress feels slow. But slow progress is still progress, and it is far more powerful than standing still. Purpose gives direction to your consistency. Without purpose, it is easy to become distracted or discouraged. When you know why you are doing something, it becomes easier to continue even when it is difficult. Purpose acts like a compass that keeps you moving in the right direction. It reminds you that your actions have meaning beyond the present moment. When you connect your daily efforts to a larger goal, even small tasks begin to feel important. Each step becomes part of a greater journey, and this understanding gives you the strength to keep going. Living with purpose requires clarity. You must know what you are working toward and why it matters to you. If your goals are unclear, your efforts will be scattered. Scattered effort leads to scattered results. But when your purpose is clear, your energy becomes focused. Focused energy creates momentum, and momentum makes progress easier. This is why taking time to reflect on your direction is so important. When you understand your purpose, you stop wasting energy on things that do not matter. You begin to invest your time and effort into what truly moves you forward. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet it is often treated as if it were unlimited. Each day contains a fixed number of hours, and once those hours pass, they cannot be reclaimed. An unstoppable person understands the importance of using time wisely. This does not mean working every moment without rest, but it does mean being intentional. Intentional living means choosing your actions instead of drifting through the day without direction. It means deciding what matters most and giving your attention to those things first. Distractions are one of the greatest enemies of consistency. They pull your attention away from your goals and scatter your energy. In the moment, distractions often feel harmless. A few minutes of wasted time may not seem important, but those minutes accumulate. Over days and weeks, small distractions can steal hours of valuable time. The more you allow distractions to control your attention, the harder it becomes to stay consistent. Learning to manage distractions is not about removing them completely, but about refusing to let them dominate your focus. Routines are powerful tools for maintaining consistency. When you create a routine, you reduce the need for constant decision-making. Instead of asking yourself whether you should take action, you simply follow the pattern you have established. This makes it easier to stay on track because the action becomes automatic. A strong routine supports your goals and keeps you moving forward, even on days when your energy is low. Over time, these routines become part of your identity, and consistency becomes natural rather than forced. Patience is an essential part of consistent effort. In a world that often celebrates quick success, it can be frustrating to move slowly, but meaningful progress takes time. Skills must be developed, habits must be formed, and experience must be gained. Rushing the process often leads to burnout or disappointment. Patience allows you to accept that growth is gradual. It allows you to focus on the process instead of constantly worrying about the outcome. When you practice patience, you give yourself the space to improve steadily. There will be days when you feel tired and unmotivated. On those days, even small actions matter. Taking one step forward is always better than standing still. Consistency does not require perfection. It only requires persistence. Even if your effort is small, it keeps the momentum alive. Momentum is important because it reduces resistance. Once you are moving, it becomes easier to continue moving. But when you stop completely, it becomes harder to start again. Purpose also gives meaning to struggle. When you face difficulties, it is your purpose that reminds you why the effort is worthwhile. Without purpose, struggle feels empty and unnecessary. With purpose, struggle becomes part of the journey. It becomes a sign that you are moving forward and challenging yourself. This perspective makes it easier to endure difficult moments because you understand that they serve a greater goal. An unstoppable life is built on thousands of small decisions. Each decision may seem insignificant on its own, but together they create a powerful pattern. Choosing to act instead of procrastinating, choosing to focus instead of drifting, and choosing to continue instead of quitting are the decisions that shape your future. Over time, these choices form habits, and those habits form character. Character is what allows you to remain steady, even when circumstances change. When you stay consistent and live with purpose, you create a sense of direction that keeps you grounded. You no longer depend on changing emotions to guide your actions. Instead, your actions are guided by your values and your goals. This creates stability in your life and allows you to move forward with confidence. Each day becomes another opportunity to invest in yourself and move closer to the person you are becoming. Becoming unstoppable is not about becoming perfect, fearless, or invincible. It is about building a mind that does not surrender easily, a body that is ready for effort, and a spirit that refuses to stay down after failure. It is the result of mastering your thoughts, embracing challenges, and showing up day after day with purpose and discipline. There will be moments when the path feels heavy and progress feels slow, but those are the moments that shape you the most. Every time you choose focus over distraction, growth over comfort, and persistence over excuses, you carve a stronger version of yourself. Over time, these choices form an inner foundation that cannot be easily shaken by doubt or difficulty. You begin to realize that the real power was never outside of you, but within your daily actions and decisions. Step by step, habit by habit, and challenge by challenge, you transform into someone who does not wait for the right moment, but creates it through action. The unstoppable person is not the one who never struggles, but the one who keeps moving forward with clarity and determination, no matter what stands in the way. And the day you refuse to give up on yourself is the day you become truly unstoppable.